Good morning, my dear friends. My name is Rajesh Kunder and I am from Panjim. I am 44 years old and I am an entrepreneur. So, this is a small session where I'm going to introduce you to the world of entrepreneurship. And since you are all young kids who are looking forward to making your future, I would just like to explain and highlight to you the differences and the benefits and the pros and cons of being into a job or into your own business. So let me just tell you something about myself. I am 44 years old, as I have already said. I have a wife and two kids who are also studying like you, my kids. And I am basically an engineer by profession, and I have also done a working MBA to hone up my skills and for better job prospects. So I was somehow never an entrepreneur from day one. I was also doing a job uh, which was the first thing which came to my mind, or like you've been told that after you complete your college, you have to start looking out for jobs, and the best thing to do it is through campus interviews. So I finished my engineering in 1998, and there were a lot of companies in who used to come. So I am basically a mechanical engineer. So there were a lot of companies who used to come from Verna Industrial Estate, Kundam Industrial Estate, TVM Industrial Estate into our college for campus interviews, and just pick up students who used to come to a college for campus interviews and pick up engineers as trainee engineers. And we used to be very happy that somebody has been picked up as a trainee engineer, and you immediately get a job once you're out of college, once you of course clear your final exams and get your certificate. So I was amongst the very few who were picked up by a company from Verna Industrial Estate, and we were taken as trainee engineers. So we were very happy. I Once the course was over, we got our certificates, we joined the job, and it was very different world out there once you step out of college. So we actually didn't know what kind of engineering job we were doing, and it was really frustrating. So after a month or so, I thought, like, this is not my cup of tea. And while going through the classifieds in the newspaper, I came across um, uh, a job opening for sales. So I said, let me try. The only intention was that I would get traveling petrol incentive for my bike and food allowance. That was the main reason for applying for this job, because it was clearly mentioned that you will get a salary, petrol allowance, and food incentives, food allowances. So I applied and I was selected, and then it was quite difficult getting my first customer. So it was in the field of air conditioning. We were recruited by a company called Carrier Aircon for their authorized distributor in Goa, and it took me almost 1.5 months to get my first order for a window AC from a hotel. But the job was challenging. You would meet a lot of new people, lot of new ideas, and you could learn a lot of things. And plus, it was not a stationary job. It was traveling, so you were free. You were not into that nine to five kind of a setup. So it was quite an enjoyable job, and starting from there, then I continued in a job for almost 15 years. Of course, not in the same company, but I changed three, four companies, and then I had an opportunity to work in Mumbai with LG Electronics, and post that I joined the Tata Group through their company Tata Teleservices, and I worked there for 10 years. So I started off in Goa, and then I got as I got more promotions. I went to Pune, I went to Nasik, I went to Kolhapur, and finally I was head of sales for their entire rest of Maharashtra for the SME business, that is the small and medium enterprises. I worked in this company for 10 years, and there was good growth. The salary was good, the incentives were good, there were a lot of benefits, and working for one of the best employers in the country, which is the Tata Group. But after working for 10 years, I then realized that, like, this is not a very stable kind of environment in terms of your location. So 6 months you are in Pune, after 6, 8 months, then you get transferred to Goa, then you get transferred to Nasik, then you get transferred here and there. So then finally I decided that this is in the long run that for stability I have to, and I always wanted to be in Goa, and for stability I had to come back to Goa. But I had no scope in Goa because I had reached a senior level in terms of jobs. So the only option what was left to me was to start my own business. So I took a decision after 10 years of working in this company, exactly after 10 years, and 15 years of working in corporates. So I quit my job and I came to Goa and I became an entrepreneur. So now it has been 5 years since I started business. I started in the year 2016, 6 years actually, and I have seen both sides of the coin. The job as well as uh, becoming an entrepreneur. And the first year was very difficult. The first year was very difficult in the business because it takes time to set up. And now since I was working and I had my skill sets uh, of small and medium enterprises, handling the business, handling the operations. The second year and the third year, I could do well. But after that, then again we had this pandemic, and then again the business took a nosedive. So last 2 years it was kind of struggle. Suddenly, when the wave comes in, the cases start going up. Uh, Business gets into a slump, and then once the cases are low, business improves. So my main reason for making this video and interacting with you is that you guys are all young and you want in the next maybe 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 years you will want to make a, career. So now the options in front of you are either to take a job. Now jobs can be different types of jobs. You can take up a government job, wait for a government job, or take up a private job and rise through the hierarchy, or you can start on your own. See, being both the options have their own benefits and pros and cons, you can say. Job, what happens is if you get a good job in a good company, your end of the month you don't have to worry about the salary. You get your paycheck at the end of the month. But having said that, it is always dynamic. It in a good company, in a large company, when you work, it is always target driven. You have your appraisals. You have very limited time on your hand. For example, when we were working in the Tata Group, getting a leave for a vacation was very difficult. Even though, there used to be leaves like, 30 days, you would get leaves, but still availing those leaves and spending time would be quite difficult. But having said that, at the end of the day, you get money in your account by way of salary. So you know that, this much money I'm going to get at the end of the month. And based on that, you can plan your finances. Like you want to buy a house, you want to buy a bike or a car, You want to spend money on vacation, you want to spend money on your basic necessities, you want to do some saving. So based on that, you know where you are placed. In a See, these are the all the benefits of a job basically, and your career growth. But then there is a limited, uh, there is a limitation on where you can go. There is a, you can say there is a capping. Uh, Whereas the other side is starting on your own. See, I always have one regret. Having done a job wherein also I was very successful, and in a business also right now, touch wood, we are doing quite well. We have been able to sustain the business for last 6 years. And but the only regret which remains is you should have started business little early in your life. So the sooner the better when you're doing business. It is the sooner the better. So when you are young, you work with double energy. Plus, since your liabilities are low, since your responsibilities are less, you have nothing to lose. So sooner you start your business, the better it is in terms of growth, in terms of putting in the efforts, in terms of running around. Because business is not easy. You have to put in lots and lots of efforts. You have to put in extra hours, even though you think that the time is all yours. You are your own boss. You don't have to ask anybody for a leave. You don't have to ask anybody for spending the money what you have. But then you eventually don't end up spending it or taking a leave, because you have to put in that much of time and money and effort. Most important thing is the effort and the time in your business. See, there are a lot of advantages in business, which in being an entrepreneur, which outweigh the advantages in a job. Now, in a business, first and foremost, whenever you are in a job, you are focused. So you are like this. You don't know what is going on your left hand side and what is going on your right hand side. So you are only focused. You have to do your targets. You have to do your work, and you don't have time and neither the time nor the inclination to think about anything else. What is going on in your surroundings? Whereas in a business, whenever you are doing your business, first and foremost, you are your own boss. You can determine the amount of time you want to work in, the amount of money you want to make, the amount of jobs what you want to provide, and the amount of scalability, that is how much you want to build your business to the next level. That is totally dependent on you. And whenever you are in a business or you are your own boss in terms of being an entrepreneur, you don't have these mental blocks. See, the entire world is yours. You just remove these barriers. The entire world is yours. You can look this side for opportunities, you can look this side for opportunities, you can look anywhere for opportunities. Anything which comes up is an opportunity. uh, Plus, the scalability is unlimited. It depends on how much you want to scale the business, that is how much you want the business to grow. Okay. So like how in a job there is a level up to where you can reach with your ability. In business there is an unlimited opportunity. You can today be doing a business of 1 lakh, and within say 3 years you may reach 1 crore, and within another 3 years you may reach 10 crores. In terms of business, it is totally dependent on you, how much effort you put in, how much risk you are willing to take, how much time you want to devote. Okay. Now, secondly, another aspect of business is you contribute a lot to the society in terms of first paying, collecting GST and paying GST, which is the goods and sales tax. Second is you contribute to the society by providing jobs. Say for example, when you are working, when you are in a job, you are only supporting your family with the salary what you get. But when you are in a business, and if you employed say 6 to 8 people, you are supporting 6 to 8 families, which is again a noble thing to do. So it is not only about yourself, but you are also supporting the families, the 6 to 8 people, the 6 to 8 families who are a part of your organization. Uh, so see, you have to now decide on what you want to do in life ahead. In Goa, most of the time we have seen, and we have seen people, and we have seen even our legislators and the government always talking about ki jobs, 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 jobs. Now, these jobs are only considered as government jobs. Everybody wants to be a government, working in the government because they feel that it is stable. And but what are the growth opportunities? There is absolutely no growth opportunities. Yes, unless you are well educated and you have cleared your UPSC or GPSC or IAS, then you have unlimited opportunities for growth. But otherwise, a normal person, he is happy with getting a job of a security guard or a peon, which wherein the growth level is not there at all. But on the other side, if you think and decide and focus that I want to be a businessman, I want to be an entrepreneur, there are unlimited opportunities. Like today in this era of internet, wherein the government also is focusing on Startup India, Scale Up India, Skill India. Startup India is one of the most encouraging projects and the encouraging slogan which the government has come up with. And as youth, as children, you should definitely be a part of this revolution. And today there are so many opportunities in terms of business, for be it in the medium for raising finance. There are so many people, so many investors, so many banks who are willing to back if your project is good. Okay. So even in terms of business today, anything can be a business. Any idea, whatever you have, which comes out of your mind, anything can be a business. So, and the world is constantly changing and evolving every day. So, whatever would have been a good business, say, a year or two back, may not be a good business today. And whatever it is good business today may not be a good business after another 2 years, because the world would have definitely changed. For example, we did not have WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram 5 years back. So the means of communication were either by calls or SMS, or people would send emails. Today, nobody sends emails. Today, nobody makes calls. Very few calls are very few. Today, nobody sends SMS. It is all through WhatsApp chat or Facebook Messenger. So the world is evolving, the world is changing. Okay. And by the time you guys are in a position to decide whether I want to get into a job or I want to do my own business, so whether you are in the day you reach there, the world would have changed, but the opportunities would remain the same. For example, in a job, your um, growth and your scalability will remain at one level. That capping would always be there. Whereas in a business, whatever the business at that point of time, there will always be unlimited potential. So my sincere advice to you, since I have looked at both the sides of the coin, like I have worked for 15 years and now I'm in business for 6 years. With a little bit of extra effort, little bit of hard work in the beginning, it is always better to start on your own, be your own boss, contribute to the society in terms of taxes and in terms of providing jobs. So you will be job creator. So when people will say, ki jobs, 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 so they will look up to you for creating those jobs. So in business, earlier the better. Okay, don't waste too much of lose too much of time in terms of uh, you know we'll do it later. We'll first do a job. We'll make some money. Then we will invest that money to into starting on my own. I always want to start, but I don't know what to start. So this will all questions will come up in your mind, and you have to be ready now. Like you have to just keep on thinking ki what I have to do uh, in my career at a later date. So just to conclude, this is my personal opinion. I it could be different for you, or see, we are in a country where job is always considered to be the secured side, and people, our generation, they would want their kids to be in a government job. की एक government job लागलो म्हणल्यार आमचे future जालो is the thought. But if you go to developed countries, like if you go to US or you go to Europe, or even developed cities like Mumbai or Bangalore or Hyderabad, there are this thought process is changing, because right now more and more young people are getting into startups. They are getting into business. So it is not no longer the situation ki boss government job लागलो म्हणल्यार माझो life secure झालो. That is no longer the case. The case is that I want to do something different. I want to do something which is scalable. Scalable means you can grow it to any level. Like there are so many companies today which have been started by people who are just out of college. For example, Flipkart, Snapdeal, Ola. So all these Oyo was started by Ritesh Agarwal, who is the founder of Oyo, when he was 21 years old. And today it is a huge company. It has got operations all across the world. Flipkart, Ola, Snapdeal. So and there are so many companies coming up like this. So many means so many companies. In fact, even we have started one very small e-commerce startup, wherein we are selling goods through our own website, where we are delivering it to almost 29,000 locations across the country. So these opportunities are always there, and these are the opportunities which you have to take, and which will uh, help you to be big. So the basic conclusion for me is, the only regret being that I should have started business 5 years earlier. That is what I should have done. But better late than never. And my advice to you would be is to train your mind in such a way that you decide whether I want to get stuck in a government job, whether I want to get stuck in a private job where the opportunities and the growth are limited, or whether I want to be my own boss and start my own business and scale unlimited growth. So it was good talking to you, and maybe you will find some value in my talks in this session. And I wish you all the very best in your careers and in your life. Thank you very much.